Welcome back, everybody. Those in the light and those in the darkness. Welcome back to Kingdom Hearts 3. My name is Darkstorm. And yeah, we're still in the Caribbean, and I'm just looking over things in the background while this is going on. Oh, a voice chat is active, but I'm not gonna. It's Void again. I'm not gonna drag him into this. I'm not gonna drag him into another. But what am I? What did Void share with me? Oh, that's from Melody of Memories. I think that's a shot from Melody of Memories, at least. There's this thing going. This is this idea. I guess not really an idea. This joke going around, or at the very least, a joke from Void. That that will Terra still himself, but that the Keyblade armor specifically is a new being called Chad. Like, okay then. I did not put any.
I bet you there's a lucky M-bomb here.
I'll deal with transitions later. I forgot to put transitions in, but you'll see the transitions. You get to see them. But I do not right now, because I forgot. Anyway, but I have a new notification. I did not think. Now that is the only language you know how to speak. You would not. Alright, I saw a poem, but I don't know. I'm not gonna. I suppose it does. What island is this? I don't remember. Oh, it's just. I think it's just for this. Yeah, a lot of the islands only really have one or two things on them. Then there's just these few islands that actually have a lot. I've like 7 or 8 chests. Anyway, just taking down another chest.
That's on a need-to-know basis. Guess that means we should just follow your example. I quite like the sound of that.
More monkey business. Anyway. I don't really know what else to say right now. I'm just filling up this part with commentary so that it's not just the game, not just. I suppose I could be talking about it like a guide, but I don't know. I don't really feel like it. Like, what's going on screen should be your guide. But actually, there's some things I could talk about, like in the series, like just how the games have been going thus far. Probably could have gotten to that a while ago because I've had this in my mind for a while, but I guess I just never really. I never really. What's the term I'm looking for? I never really thought to give it much focus right now. Actually, I think I wanted to talk about it later, but you know, a cleanup part's a better part to talk about it than while I'm trying to focus on playing the actual game. So here it goes. After the first few games, it kind of, well actually, I guess, as soon as Chain of Memories, it kind of, there's some questionable choices being made, like saddling us up with the card gameplay in general. Like, if they stuck with the original idea, because I think Chain of Memories was really supposed to be a Game Boy Advance remake of the first game, which is part of why the world progression is the way it is. But then they made it more plot, so now we have to deal with this instead of having it saddled off as just the Game Boy Advance remake. No, it's actually plot now. And now we have to deal with the cards, unfortunately. And honestly, even though like it is interesting to bring the way to put to bring Naminé into things. I'm not really too much a fan of Naminé messing with Sora's memory specifically. Just a fan of Naminé being around in general. I don't really care much for the memory thing being just her specific power. I mean, she can mess with memories, but I don't really feel very attached to the idea of her having basically, I guess not really absolute control, but it seems kind of like absolute control over specifically memories tied to Sora. It simultaneously feels too good. Simultaneously feels overpowered and limited at the same time. Now that I'm thinking about it. Anyway, moving on. Kingdom Hearts 2 is basically fine, but I feel like they could have let Kairi do more. Like, relegating Kairi to basically just be taking out a few Heartless in the background while everyone else does. I mean, I guess everyone else is more experienced than her, so it's fine for Kingdom Hearts 2. Yeah, no, Kingdom Hearts 2 is just fine, actually. Let's see, and then comes the next three. 358, Birth by Sleep, and Recoded. I would talk about Recoded first, but I don't actually have all that much experience with Recoded. The most experience I have is watching the movie cutscene thing. I didn't actually play it for myself. I didn't play Birth by Sleep either, but I know more about the gameplay for Birth by Sleep just because I was more interested in watching the gameplay. For Recoded, I mean, I guess I guess in terms of like the gameplay itself for Recoded, as far as I've been told, and as far as I'm aware, it actually is better gameplay-wise than both Birth by Sleep and Dream Drop Distance. But just because it's another rehash of Kingdom Hearts 1 and a bit of Chain of Memories as well, I just wasn't at all interested. And like I think I remember saying a while ago, someone has said that it brought up an important plot piece that is brought up in Dream Drop Distance and 3. I don't remember exactly what it was. I think it was just the fact that Terra, Aqua, and Ventus had to be saved, and that Sora was gonna go through with saving. Sora and Mickey were gonna go through with saving them. But the thing is, that's not. What's the word I'm looking for? I mean, it is major, but that's not a real big twist, I'm gonna say, for now, since I can't think of the right word. Like, I skipped Coded, and when the idea of Sora and Mickey saving Terra, Aqua, and Ventus came up in Dream Drop and 3, I didn't question it at all, because it's really obvious, and if anyone needed Coded, like, I mean, I guess, because Mickey knows they exist as far as Mickey already knows they exist, and that he hasn't seen them in years, and Yen Sid knows they exist, and Donald and Goofy know they exist. Like, it was kind of obvious. Like, the only reason I was gonna say the only reason Coded would be important is letting Sora know they exist, but that's not even Sora. That's Data Sora, and Sora doesn't have any of Data Sora's memories. All they needed was the letter that was sent, but we never got to see what was in it at the end of Kingdom Hearts 2. Coded is worthless in terms of story. The only thing you could say that it was useful for was letting Mickey know about, not even Roxas and Axel, letting Mickey know about Xion. But Mickey doesn't even know, Mickey doesn't even know about Xion. Mickey never mentions Xion. Sora and Riku see Xion in Dream Drop Distance, but even then, and Mickey and the others have nothing to do with that. But even then, they don't get to do anything about it, because when 3 comes along, Sora, Riku, and Lee. Actually, I want to bring up this right here. This is the island that I said I wanted to come back to initially, because the game decided that I don't get the crabs, and I don't know why. But anyway, and Kingdom Hearts 3, Sora, Riku, and Lee all still don't remember Xion. So like even Coded was worthless. Coded was worthless as a story. Gameplay, I'm told it's better than Birth by Sleep and Dream Drop Distance, but as in terms of for gameplay, but in terms of story, Coded was worthless. Alright, now, what else? No, next. 358 and Birth by Sleep. Okay. 358, since I brought up Xion, we're going to 358 now. 358, I really wish that they made 358 playable in these collections. But in terms of how it would be playable, I would prefer what I would do, like, obviously the story, I'm fine with the story. Keep the story as is. I mean, there could be a few differences in terms of story, like honestly, I never really felt the need to, like, even with the story as is, I never really felt the need for Xion to, like, be connected to Sora. Like, she has the memories, but why does that mean that she has the memories? And she was made as a replica to contain, not even a replica of Sora, because at first she's a blank puppet. So she's not even a replica specifically of Sora and Roxas. She's just a replica made to contain their power. And she only looks, well, she looks different depending on who's looking at her, and I don't really understand it. Oh. When I was I got mad at the guide, the IGN guide for Kingdom of Corona. Well, it happened again. There's these 5 treasure chests. Okay. The treasure chest guide for these 5 treasure chests are, let's see. It's this even in the Northern Waters. The picture of the map doesn't match where they actually are. The picture is trying to tell me it's over here. And it also doesn't label the island. The description doesn't label the island. I am kinda pissed off. I just wanted to come into live commentary just to say that, but that's it. Back to being silent. Thanks for handing the reins back over past me. Yeah, the IGN guide is kind of dumb. And this is even the first time it happened. Remember Tangled? Anyway, back to what I was saying. I don't really get, like, I guess Xion looks different depending on who's looking at her, and all the forms that she appears as, aside from the blank puppet and the black-haired Kairi appearance, which, I mean, I guess that literally is what they used for her model, but I never really saw it personally, but I guess it works. But anyway, aside from those 2 forms, every other form Xion takes is related to Sora. Like, no one ever sees her as just Roxas. Like, Xigbar sees her as Ventus, and Ventus does look a lot like Roxas. And then Xemnas sees her as Sora. But I think he didn't always see her as Sora. He saw her as Sora late in the game, and he took that as proof that she was taking Sora's power into herself. But anyway, aside from maybe just not having Xion have to really go back to Sora specifically, then again, that's what keeps her relevant at the moment. I don't know. Maybe she just has to go back to give back his memories. I don't know if I think Naminé should have just been able to take. I don't know why not. I don't get why Naminé wouldn't have been able to just. I don't really get why Naminé wouldn't have been able to take the memories from her. It should have been fine. But aside from that, in terms of like the gameplay, they could make it. I don't know. They could make it less mission structured, I guess. I'm not sure how that would change up the progression, but I'd be all for it, I think. That's all I have to say about that. Birth by Sleep. Everyone's kind of dumb in Birth by Sleep. Like, even people say like everyone but Xehanort and Vanitas were kind of dumb in Birth by Sleep. Well, Aqua's fine too. But even like Xehanort and Vanitas are kind of dumb. And the reason that their plans work is because the other four characters are even dumber. It's been it's been said it's been said in conversations that I've had that they just did it on purpose because they knew they could get away with it, but that doesn't actually mean they're not dumb, is the thing. In fact, taking the risk, even though you know it's a risk, is actually even dumber than just not knowing there's a risk in the first place, actually. So that makes Xehanort and Vanitas even dumber than I thought they were. But anyway, what do I mean by everyone being dumb? Let's see. Xehanort literally told Ericus that he wanted to use their darkness to have another Keyblade War. And that was... Actually, I don't know for a fact that it would have to have been before the rest of the game. Maybe it wasn't. I'm not sure exactly when it took place. But I think it sounds like it took place before the rest of the game, so that makes Ericus absolutely moronic, because he allowed Xehanort back to oversee Terra and Aqua's Mark of Mastery. At the very least, Ericus tried to keep Ventus safe from Xehanort's plans, so that there's at least that, but he could have gone after him himself instead of just sending Aqua after him. Ventus was a little too trusting, well, not just a little, very much too trusting of Vanitas, who disappeared before his very eyes in a portal of darkness, you know, that thing that you're supposed to be fighting. And Terra, I'm just gonna be, Xehanort wasn't being very slick, and yet Terra still fell for it. Anyway, that's all I can say for now. I might pick it up in San Francisco, but until then, ta-ta. Have a wonderful day.